What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from JD Sports Zone and Dinger Dudes, and today I have a very special interview with Milwaukee Brewers prospect Jadyn Fielder. Jadyn, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. Congrats on a first amazing pro ball season, and I hope your Halloween went well, man. How's your day going?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. Good. Thanks for having me. How's your day?
Pretty good, man. I'm just ready to get back to college. Halloween went well, so I'm
Nice.
I'm chilling. But I do want to get to my first question about your pro ball career. Obviously, you grew up around the game, and I want to ask you personally, when did you realize it's something you could take seriously as a career, outside of growing up around it for so long during your childhood?
Um, I honestly think let me see. I feel like when I was around like 8 or 9, that's when I really started to like go to the field and like really like starting to hit and stuff like, on the field. Especially when we got to Texas, that's when, Adrian Belcher would throw us on the field and stuff like that. And I don't know, since then I was like, dang, it was more so like I think I knew I could have always made it, like, or that I can't always make it, but like once I started to hit on the field, I'm like, man, this is like, I don't know, something about it was like, man, I've got to like do this. You know what I mean? Like this is definitely like the one thing that brings me, the most happiness. So yeah, I think around like from 9 to like 12, I was for sure like, yeah, I really want to pursue this.
That's awesome to hear. Now, obviously, you had your first year in pro ball with the Milwaukee Brewers organization, and I want to ask you, obviously, pro ball is different from high school or collegiate ball or JUCO and stuff like that. What was your biggest I made it moment or pro ball career moment when you realized, wow, this is the real stuff?
Um, I mean, to be completely honest, I think my first at bat, a pro ball, I hit a homer, and like, up to that point, I was doing well in like spring training and stuff like that. But I was like, man, I don't know. Like once the actual game came, like the first pro game where like you get your at bats and your nameplate, in the minors and all that. I was like, man, I don't know. So then yeah, once I hit the that first homer, that would be my my first hit. I was like, man, I think like I had doubts. Like I didn't know if I was gonna get a hit all season. My first hit's a homer. I'm like, oh man, I might be this might be my path.
That's absolutely insane for your first hit to be a homer. The only way I can imagine that, I stopped playing baseball in high school and first couple years of college, but the only way I can imagine that is playing MLB The Show. MLB The Show is the farthest that I can personally reach for myself, but that's
Yeah.
awesome to hear from,
Yeah.
your first MLB homer moment. And then I want to ask you, kind of relating to that, obviously, maybe you had some MLB guys you modeled your game after. Is there any specific MLB player that you tried to model your game after that, you still carry on to this day in your pro ball career?
Um, I'd say like I'd say like three people, I think. Obviously, my dad, I watched a lot of his swing. And mostly just how he like always hustled, especially being a big guy. I'm not that I'm that big guy, but my dad being this, big dude still running after, running down the line, hitting inside the park homers. I'm like, dang, that's pretty like if he can do that being as big as he is, I for sure got to at least put in, you know, my full effort too. So yeah, I'd say my dad, Robinson Cano for sure, like when it comes to second base and like, being a hitter, yet also being like a fantastic defender and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely model myself after him as well. And then obviously Barry Bonds is like my favorite guy of all time. So I try to like it's obviously I don't, it's tough to do, but I try to combine, my dad's swing, my swing, and Bond's swing, you know. So yeah, I'm still working on that, but yeah.
That's a great trio of guys, and your dad was a true hero for us big guys, especially playing baseball, trying to hustle our way around the bases.
Yeah.
I'm a heavier dude myself, so I
Yeah.
truly appreciate, his heroics on the field for
Uh-huh.
that. Kind of relating to your next question, obviously baseball can be not just a mental but physical grind as well. What do you do to stay motivated throughout an MLB season? Maybe you're in a slump or something. What do you do to stay motivated when, facing adversity during an MLB season or a baseball season?
Mhm. Shoot, honestly, I've got a few things. My dad always telling me like, literally no matter what happens, like you're good, man. Like it is just a game at the end of the day. Obviously, it's tough if you go 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4, and it's like, dang, like when is this gonna stop? But he always says like, dude, just if you keep waking up and going to the field, you're going like you know how much work you've put in. So like it's not a work thing. It's just go out there and enjoy the game and just kind of and that's another thing, take it off the hits too. If you're slumping, get a walk, man. Like get on base, steal a bag, play some defense. You going to do something like that. And then I say another thing is definitely, God for sure. It's really easy to get, caught up in the earthly things like, oh, I'm failing this and that. But it's like, dude, if you really got God, he's got your back through everything here, then, it really takes that extra, angst and, stress off your shoulders.
It's great advice to hear, especially, as a baseball player, and can be applied to many other occupations as well when it comes to that. And it's great to hear, your perspective as a professional ball player when, facing obviously down slumps and stuff like that. And you mentioned 0 for 4, 0 4, and I'm just going to try and throw an analogy here. I was born in 04 as well, so I want
Mhm.
to ask you this. Obviously, there's a wide range of music when it comes to 04 kids and what they listen to.
Yeah.
What is your go-to walk-up song and why does it fit your personality?
I'm a walk up, dude. What's crazy? I got a walk up song playlist, but where I was at, I guess in rookie ball, for the Brewers, we didn't do walk up songs, so I didn't have a walk up song all year. It's actually I've got a few walk up songs that like I've got on deck, maybe just in case for next year. But yeah, I haven't had a walk up song all year, so I can't even answer that. What about you? What was your walk up song?
Hmm. It was The Man by Aloe Black, and I love when people ask me this. I was very, a little self-centered in high school, and The Man was a great song by Aloe Black. I'm the man, I'm the man, yeah, that's the only part that would play,
Good one. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a
during
good
the
one.
entire time. So, I guess kind of piggybacking off of that, since you didn't have a walk-up song, do you have any like pre-game hype songs or a pre-game playlist you listen to before heading out on the field?
Yeah, I have a pregame playlist, but it's weird. It's weird. I'm not really a big like how do you say it? Like lyrics type of song guy, before games. To be completely honest, I listen to like really, I mean, I guess you could say like relaxing music. It's mostly just sounds type of thing. I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, I tried to do the whole like get hype with music and stuff. I was like, that's not me, man. I just let me calm down and then, because I like to play obviously, a lot of energy and stuff like that. So I feel like calm myself down and really being at like, fully grounded, like ground zero before I go into a game is that's usually when I'm at my best.
So you're like an ocean waves kind of guy.
Basically, yeah. It's like ocean waves mixed with like I don't know, like yeah, like ocean waves mixed with like piano, like that type of vibe. Yeah.
That's very, very interesting because when I interview guys around like the 21 to 25 range who play professional baseball, they always say either NBA young boy or future or something like that. So it's very interesting to hear the whole ocean waves perspective. I need to try that sometime, when I'm
Yeah.
just walking around campus. Mellows
Yeah, I
me
mean,
down.
sometimes I never wasn't, a young boy guy, but I could listen to Future here and there, but yeah, I don't know. I like to be extra calm. Yeah, before I play.
I understand it. Now, obviously, you talked a little bit about your first year in pro ball earlier during the interview, and I want to ask you, who's a teammate or coach that has maybe really influenced you in your growth so far in this Brewers organization?
Let me see. Shoot, I mean, it's hard to not say like all my coaches here, but I'll go with he's like a newer coach. I go with Tyson Cooper. Yeah, he was he's he play, let me see. He just finished college ball actually. So he's like 24, coaching me with and I'm 20 I just turned 21. So he's not even 4 years older than me, coach me and that was that's kind of a cool thing to me. That's like the first time I've ever had that really, him being a young dude, it's weird. It's like having like a good buddy, but like he's your coach, and he's been around longer than I have, So and plus his dad was also a coach, so he has like a whole different like outlook. You know what I mean? He's not like not saying no one on the Brewers like old, like an old coach, but he's not like 50 years old where he's like you sometimes 50-year-olds are a little bit out of touch, with the younger guys. That's just how it is. But yeah, having a super young coach, like it was cool, man, because it wasn't even like a coach. It's like having a buddy who's like, oh, thanks for the fantastic advice about baseball as well. You know what I mean?
I 100% get it, and I mean you need a fresh perspective sometimes. I mean you need
Exactly.
somebody who can relate to you, and I mean you see why these MLB organizations do so well. I mean they brought in a personable player like Stephen Vogt is in his early 40s with the
Yeah.
Cleveland Guardians, and he just retired a couple years ago.
Right.
So I mean sometimes you need a fresh perspective around the system for things to succeed. So
Yeah.
I completely understand where you're coming from. Now, I want to ask you this: like, what's the best piece of advice that you've received either in pro ball, high school, from even your dad, for example, about handling life in professional baseball on and off the field?
Honestly, honestly, man, the biggest advice I've got this year from kind of everyone, my dad, said it in a precise manner. He always just said a divine timing. Basically mean like whenever it's supposed to happen, it will happen. If it doesn't happen now, that's you're not failing. Just keep moving and it'll happen. Like everything prepares you for when you do move. You know what I mean? And yeah, because over the whole year, I was a lot of coaches, and my dad, they're like, dude, just you're doing well, just keep doing it. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing about baseball. It's a mental game in the fact that you could be doing so well, and it's like not that no one sees you're not doing well, but it's like you're not getting promoted. So it's tough for a lot of guys to be like, man, this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So yeah, having my dad's words of divine timing, helped me again, like I said earlier with the God thing, like, dude, if you just relax and just let God take care of it, like just, it takes that stress, that angst off you.
I completely agree. And I feel like that's a lost aspect when it comes to not even just professional baseball, but whatever occupation you're going into. If you put your faith in Jesus Christ and let him, kind of guide you to where you're going, because sometimes it's not about the destination, it's about the journey that
Exactly.
takes you along with it. So I completely agree, and I appreciate you for sharing that out to the viewers. Now, I kind of want to ask you a little bit of some fun questions before I get into the final question I always ask all my interviewees. Obviously, you're a big power guy. Your dad was in a couple home run derbies, I would say a couple, and won a couple. So I want to ask you personally, what would be your dream home run derby lineup, including yourself, of maybe either current, former guys, younger guys, that you would want to be a part of? In which stadium? I'm going to throw which stadium as well.
Which stadium, man? Uh, any stadium like ever?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, okay. Let's see. Okay, I gotta go with Polo Grounds just because I've only seen that in MLB The Show, so I've got to see what that'd be like in real life. Uh, Shoot. I mean, I would for sure lose this home run derby, but I'll definitely do. I guess yeah, myself. Okay, let's see. It might be all lefties, man. Yeah, we'll do that. All lefty home run derby. It'll be Barry Bonds, my dad, uh, Ken Griffey, Robinson Cano. How many we got? Eight guys in total.
eight guys, yes.
Okay, okay. Then we'll do shoot. Then yeah, let's do Tony Gwynn, Ichiro Suzuki. Oh man. Oh, did I say Ted Williams already?
You have not.
Okay, then Ted Williams, and then I mean, I guess Babe Ruth. Yeah, I guess that rounds it out.
I'm taking you, man. I'm taking you. I'm
I
taking you
don't
in this
know.
home run derby.
I mean, I believe I'd lose first round, but shoot, I appreciate it.
That would be an amazing home run derby, especially in Polo Grounds. Polo Grounds
Yeah,
is insane to play on the show. I
yeah,
can't. I just can't do it. I can't do
exactly,
it.
exactly.
But kind of relating to my next question, you talk about a top eight. I want to minimize to like a top four. When it comes to Mount Rushmores of GOAT baseball players, you can incorporate pitchers, you can incorporate hitters, whoever you want to throw in there. Who's your Mount Rushmore of baseball players? I know it's a very, very tough
Yeah,
question.
it's tough. I'm gonna exclude. I'm gonna get my dad out of here. I'm not even gonna count him in this. Shoot, but let's see. Man, dang. Okay, let's do. I'll do Barry Bonds. Man, Ted Williams, uh, Tony Gwynn. Oh man, shoot. I go Derek Jeter too. Yeah, Derek Jeter.
And Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
I
I like Derek Jeter.
I can agree with the majority of that list. I have a little bit of conflicting opinions on Derek Jeter, but that's a
That's,
discussion. That's a
I know. That's
yeah.
why, I know. But World Series don't lie, so I gotta throw him in there. Yeah.
That is true. I mean, you see 27 of them with the Yankees, so I truly I truly understand that. Now, I actually want to ask you. Obviously, you're going to be incorporated into this next year, or I mean, you probably had some experiences with it this year. The ABS ball strike system. I want to ask a current player in the minor leagues. Obviously, a lot of people have mixed reactions of it. You see, with the older generation, they just want to stick with umpires like such as Angel Hernandez, CB Buckner, stuff like that. What are your thoughts on the ABS automated ball strike system?
I mean, so we did like live ABs, and we'll have like the strike zone like on the the big screen. So it's not ABS, but we'll have like coaches calling strikes, based off of that. And honestly, dude, I don't like if the ball is touching at all any part of the strike zone, it's a strike. Which, as you know, if you play MLB the show, there's sometimes where the ball is hanging like 70% off and it's a ball.
Mhm.
It's like, dude, that's not a strike. Like to me, like if I'm up to bat and a pitch super out of the zone and a stitch hits the strike zone, it's a strike. I don't think I'd like that, to be completely honest. So I'd say like for the most part, umpires bring in like a human aspect of like baseball. So like obviously, I don't know. Obviously, if you get called on a bad pitch, it's easy to say I like ABS. But like for the most part, I'm telling you, most people are going to be getting pitches that, usual umpires will call balls, that the ABS is going to call it a strike. So to be honest, as a hitter, I don't think I really like it as much as people are talking about it, to be completely honest.
I understand. I mean, I've interviewed a lot of former MLB pitchers who have had experience with the ABS strike system, and I see it more common upon pitchers than batters when it comes to
Right.
in
Yeah.
favor of the system. So
Right.
I completely understand that. Now I have two final questions. One more fun one before we get into this one. Obviously, you're in the Milwaukee Brewers organization. And we talked about Mount Rushmores before, secluding everybody else in the MLB and every other MLB team. Who is your Mount Rushmore of Milwaukee Brewers players?
Oh man. Uh, Let me see. Shoot, let me see. Okay, I'll go. Okay, I'll do this. I'll go Raleigh Fingers. Uh, yeah, because he had the mustache, and I always thought that was
Uh-huh.
like crazy. Uh, Raleigh Fingers. We'll go with my dad. Shoot, man. And then shoot, we'll go Ricky and Ryan Braun. Yeah, we gotta go those. That's a good pick.
Amazing four pick, 100%. And
Yeah,
even as a Cardinals fan, I was a big fan of Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun,
yeah,
Ricky Weeks, and yeah, I understand the four there. So, but I want to ask you my final question, Jadyn.
Hmm.
Obviously you see a lot of young ball players trying to make either maybe Division 1 college baseball, even just to get at the pro level or JUCO level. What advice would you give to these high school kids trying to make it in collegiate ball or pro ball?
Um, Shoot, let me see. Well, advice I give to my younger brother Haven. He's at Ohio State, and because this is passed on obviously from my dad, but it's always like if you're going into college ball and JUCO ball, you do well there and work hard, but that's not your final destination. You know what I mean? So don't get so caught up in like, oh, my numbers, this, because it's like, dude, okay, let's say you have a great year in college. Now you're in the minors now. This is that like this has nothing to do with anything now. It's like strictly your minor league and then your MLB career. So yeah, I'd say the best advice I could give is, it's enjoy. I mean, enjoy college if you got to, but like, dude, you're there to work, and then you're there to leave. You're not there to worry about your college numbers, worry about your college, friends, all that stuff. Do your work, and then get ready for the minors in MLB.
That's amazing advice, and I know a lot of guys at my university need to hear something like that because they always they focus on the collegiate numbers, trying to make it
Right.
to pro ball. But when you got to focus at the task at hand, and then minor league something completely different. So I completely agree. But Jadyn, thank you so much for taking time every day to do this interview, and I
Yes,
hope you have an amazing day, man.
yes, sir. You too. I appreciate it.